For residents and indigents of Ibadan, ancient city and capital of Oyo State, southwestern Nigeria, Friday the 26th of August will forever live in their memories as a black day. What will have stood out as a perfect start for the weekend ended up with stories of pains and anguish. At about 5 p.m. in the evening, the heavens opened its curtains, and after 6 to 7 hours of heavy rain, what is left behind cannot be described as a fairy tale ending.
Around 1 a.m. in the morning, there were several calls from residents that they were under threat. And when we woke up and we came here, we found out that all the 2 bridges leading this area have been broken down, and there was no way people could cross over to the other side. So we tried to mobilize people. When the fire people came, there was nothing they could do. The water was so much that all the houses here were submerged. In the morning, around 7 a.m., we came here and we saw several people. Some were on the trees, some were on the roof.
By the time I passed here yesterday, something like to 10, this river, it never planted enough too much like this. But before, this man comes here, to destroy every place for here, everything, just for carry person, like something from my eyes. I see like 4 people, they are died in this water, they passed through this water.
Official reports indicate over 100 lives were lost, amongst them children, scores of others missing, and several families displaced, prompting an emergency humanitarian situation in the erstwhile peaceful state. Apart from human lives, properties and goods worth several millions of naira were also destroyed, so furious it consumed almost everything on its path, resulting to a temporary halt in commerce and the entire economy of the state. Worst hit by the flood include the Onipekweye section of Old Ife Road, Okeayo, Yemetu, Bodija Estate, Olomi, Eleyele, Akpete, and Elebu, Odono, Town Planning, Ijokodo, and Agbowo. In the aftermath of the disaster, a series of high-profile visits followed, notable amongst which is the presidential delegation, led by President Goodluck Jonathan, to commiserate with people of the affected areas, pledging government support in the areas of rehabilitation of collapsed bridges, culverts, and roads to cushion the hardship of the government and the people of the state. But of all the sympathy visits that trailed the disaster, none other will resonate longer, especially to the affected people of Oyo South Senatorial District, like the 2-day visit led by Chief Sholagbade Olufemi Lanleyin, the senator representing the area. Oyo South Senatorial District has under its jurisdiction Ibadan Northeast Local Government Area, Ibadan Northwest Local Government, Ibadan Southeast Local Government, Ibadan Southwest Local Government, Ibarakpa East Local Government, Ibarakpa Central Local Government, Ibarakpa North Local Government, Ido Local Government respectively. With members of his Solan organization fully on the ground, the senator's entourage traversed the length and breadth of the senatorial district, a move reminiscent of campaign days, only that this time he is on a different mission. September 6th and 7th, 2011 were the 2 days earmarked for the visit. starting with a media parley, where the senator announced his mission and gave out his itinerary to journalists and others present.
As a son of Ibadan, a son of the soil, and the senator representing a part of the affected area, I empathize with the victims, people, and government of Oyo State. This explains my presence here again, to express my condolences to the families whose dear ones were lost to the flood, as well as thousands of victims already displaced by the disaster.
Coming 31 days after the last major flood disaster, the senator gave the incident a historical perspective to the delight of those in attendance.
Looking back, I see a striking future in the recurrent flood disaster in Ibadan. It occurs at between 20 and 30 years intervals, and does appear that the casualty in loss of lives and property increases in intensity on each occurrence. The first devastating flood disaster in Ibadan was recorded in 1962. I remember we went to Lagos then, and we could not come by road. We had to come by train then. It was a very big disaster. It was called Obiyale, I believe, at that time. Abaraya Shobu. About 18 years thereafter, precisely on August 31, 1980, another flood disaster occurred. Official figures put the death toll at about 60, but an official report claimed that more than 200 lives were lost. The recent one occurred on August 26, 2011, exactly 31 years after the last one.
Primed to deliver on his electoral promise as a caring lawmaker, the trip will also afford him the chance to give out relief materials worth millions of naira to victims and displaced families. A gesture aimed at bringing succor to their grief and anguish. Beginning with Agbowo in Ibadan North, Senator Lanley and his entourage traversed the affected parts of his senatorial district, from Barika through to Ijokodo and Alaro Idito areas. The tour also provided the senator an opportunity to interact with the electorates whose mandates he represents at the center.
Torí pé ntí mo rò pé màá ṣe tí máa wá bí ni pé kí wá bí pé kí lẹ fẹ́ kí ni ká ṣe. Ìgbà tí mo dábùjá ètò tá à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ ni pé ètò tó kàn mí gangan jù lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ni pé ká ṣe ọ̀nà Ìbàdàn Lagos expressway yẹn kó dáa. Kíṣẹ́ ọwọ́ lù ú, káwọn èèyàn ó jáde lọ wáṣẹ́, kí kọ̀ǹténà ọwọ́ lù ú, káwọn tó fẹ́ dáṣẹ́ lẹ̀ ọwọ́ lù ú, ìyẹn là ń ṣe lọ́wọ́. Nìyẹn wá ṣẹlẹ̀. Ọlọ́run já rẹ̀ mọ́. Gbogbo àwọn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Ọlọ́run á tù wọ́n nú. But àmọ́ tó lọ́run fi ṣe. Kò dẹ̀ sí tà lè fún yín tó lè dípò ohun tí ẹ ní. Ẹlòmíì nǹkan tó ti ń tọ́jú látijọ́ yìí. Ó ṣe yálà fọ́tò ni, yálà ìwé ni, yálà nǹkan tó ń dùn nú. But ká gbogbo ẹ̀yọ́ lọ́run. Ọlọ́run á dùn wá nú. Ọlọ́run á tù yín nú. Nǹkan díẹ̀ ta kó wá, àá kó fún yín. Lérò kéré la dẹ̀ tó máa yọjú sí gbogbo tẹ bá fẹ́ tẹ bá a lè má ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ bọ̀ mo fi dá yín lójú pé mi ò ṣe sẹ́yìntàn Àbújá ìhà yín lè mi dún lágbà sí mi dẹ̀ ní kúrò lọ́dọ̀ yín agbára Ọlọ́run lágbèrè Òjùmàrè àjọ máa ṣe ni ilẹ̀kùn mi gbàgàdà ló wà ẹ wá ẹ kọ̀wé iná ilé constituency office mi iná lè dé ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀ rí mi ẹ fìwé lẹ̀ àwọn akọ̀wé wà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n á gba ìtẹ̀ bá fẹ́ sọ kí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ dé máa yọjú sí yín so ní orúkọ solar organization a fẹ́ fi ẹ̀bùn kékeré lẹ̀ fún baálẹ̀ àwọn landlords àti àwọn tí àjálù yìí kàn ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá gbà á bẹ́ẹ̀.
a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run.
Alhamdulillah.
Gbàrà Ọlọ́run ẹ̀yìn rí kò náà kúrò. àdúpẹ́ yes gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ̀ ń ṣe wọ̀nyí ẹ fi hàn pé èmi pé ká ní fílì fún yàn pé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ mú nǹkan kan wá ọwọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti wá ìgan ó ti ó wúwa lórí lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ torí pé nígbà tí yàn bá lọ wá láìsàn lọ bí jù á nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ ni àbẹ́ẹ̀ mọ̀ ní a nífẹ̀ẹ́ aláìsàn ní tàbá nífẹ̀ẹ́ aláìsàn ní lọ́jọ́ bí jù àwọn nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ̀nyí bẹ́ẹ̀ ti wá yàtọ̀ náà yóò ní bàjẹ́.
For Hakeem Ajibade, like many others in the Barika area of Agbowo, it will take time for life to be the same for him again. He had earlier raised funds on loan as a publisher, getting his several titles ready to coincide with school resumption. Then came the flood, spinning the story of his life into a reverse.
Àwọn ṣe wọ́n pé wọ́n ti fẹ́ wọlé àwọn ọmọ school so I'm prepared because ìwé mi wà lórí list Ọ̀yọ́ state Ondo state Kwara state government so wọ́n ti fẹ́ wọlé nsìn mo ti lọ yáwó ṣe production pé ká kàn wọlé ká lè san àwọn kíní yẹn gbogbo ẹ̀ kàn soak in water ni.
I've gone round and I've seen the place. I've seen that most of the buildings were affected, and I understand a lot of people died there. I can only pray that their soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. There is nothing we can give you that can take place of the losses you had, both in lives and properties. I can only pray that the good Lord will continue to protect you and replace whatever it is that you have lost. Amen. We are here to condole with you and to sympathize with you and to pray that may we never have such a recurrence again. Amen.
Here at the Oluyole Cheshire home, a designated relief center for victims of the disaster, the senator is also here to sympathize with the displaced victims and will again demonstrate his benevolence by handing over materials to cushion their pains.
Senator Olúfẹ́mi Lanlẹ́yìn, Senator wa tó ń ṣojú wa l'Abuja, àwọn ni wọ́n wá kí ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹni tó máa ń ṣèlérí tó máa ń múṣẹ ní Senator Lanlẹ́yìn. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣèlérí pé gbogbo nǹkan tó bá wà ní kápá àwọn pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run yàtọ̀ sí agbára ìjọba tá a fún àwọn pé káwọn lọ lò l'Abuja, gbogbo nǹkan tó bá wà ní kápá àwọn láti ṣe láti tù wá nínú.
Drawing on his experience as a once-upon-a-time victim of flood disaster, Senator Lanlẹ́yìn explained to his audience he knows where the shoe pinches.
In tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí yìí, ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi rí ní 1980 àti mò ń gbé Onírèké. Mi ní nǹkan púpọ̀ ń gbà yẹn. Nǹkan ṣíún tí mo ní náà tó mi gbé lọ.
Whilst on the trip, a litany of requests by the victims was laid bare to the senator, like these ones from Okeayo in Odono area.
As at this morning, wọ́n ti lọ máàkì sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilé tó ọjọ́ arẹ́kẹ́ ṣojú wa dáadáa ní òpó kí ni ìgbàgbọ́ àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ míì ilé tí wọ́n ti kọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ míì láńlọ́ọ̀dù ẹ̀ ti kú wọ́n kàn mánéjẹ ni wọ́n dẹ̀ ti máàkì ẹ̀ báyìí gbọ́ arẹ́kẹ́ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ kẹ́ bá sọ fún olórí orílẹ̀-èdè wa pé kọ́jọ́ wípé gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ti máàkì ilé wọn kọ́jọ́ kó tù wá nínú ká gbàgbé ẹkún àṣìṣínú yẹn kí wọ́n kọ́jọ́ nínú àmì kárí àmúgbà.
Mo gbàdúrà wípé Ọlọ́run àwa pẹ̀lú ohun tó ṣe pàtàkì sí èmi ni wípé àwa táwa lókè ayọ̀ ń bí wọ́n lè bá wa ṣe canalization agric wà ń bẹ̀ lọ tí wọ́n bá bá wa gé níbi ilé lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ilé mi ibi tó dò ti tọ́n báyìí yẹn tí wọ́n bá bá wa gé ibẹ̀ yẹn omi yẹn á lọ sókè.
lóòótọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ṣe fún wa inú wa dùn sí bọ́ọ̀sì nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé àwọn agents tí wọ́n wà ní ìka ilé owó tí wọ́n ń gbé lórí ilé ó ti pọ̀ jù nígbà tí wọ́n bá sọ pé room pé 35,000 40,000 tí kò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ owó tí wọ́n dẹ̀ fún wa lé ní ìtògbálé yẹn ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba tí ẹ bá lè bá wa ṣe kí ìjọba kó láwọn ilé tí ó ṣe pé àwọn èèyàn wá lè lọ máa rent.
láti fi hàn pé ẹwà ní ọkàn wa ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí ó dùn wá pé a dẹ̀ ń ronú báyìí a dẹ̀ máa ronú báyìí títí a máa fi rí tí a máa ṣe sí i. a fẹ́ fún yín ní this nǹkan kékeré yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí àpẹẹrẹ tí a fẹ́ ṣe. Talking of our affection for you, sympathize with you.
torí àwọn kan sọ ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ nísìnyí pé wò ní kú fáwọn.
ẹ wá lọ wo eléyìí tí wọ́n pín fún ìṣọ́ tó ń sọ pé wọ́n kù ẹ wá lọ wo sí wàhálà.
Today is the second day of the exercise, and the Solan entourage will be visiting Ibadan, Southwest, and Ido local government areas. Affected communities here at Bekuba, Akpete, Okeayo in Odono, and other affected communities within Ibadan, Southwest, carrying on with same energy and efficiency of the previous day.
kò sí ní tá a lè ṣe kò sí ní tá a lè sọ tó lè yí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ padà tó dẹ̀ lè dá àwọn tó ti lọ padà ṣùgbọ́n láti fi hàn pé ìgbàkígbà gbogbo ìgbà ni a máa ń ronú yín a dẹ̀ máa ń kẹ́dùn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ a ní ká fi àwọn nǹkan kékeré yìí ta yín lọ́rẹ pé kẹ́ bá gbà bẹ́ẹ̀.